Volume 8 of the side story for Damachi definitely has a lot of things going for it, and it really focuses a lot on Bet in particular, of course, with everything that happened in Volume 7. In Volume 7, there was, of course, a death of a character in the familiar group, and everyone is sort of reeling and feeling the after effects of that, and everyone is very raw. There's definitely a lot of raw emotions in this volume, but this volume really focuses on Bet. Bet's mindset, his past, how he sort of transforms, grows, and everyone sort of growing and understanding how Bet thinks and feels. And it does make you sympathize with a character that is very prickly, very self-absorbed, comes off very condescending. I mean, to be honest, putting aside this volume, if you were only going based on what you currently knew of Bet without this volume, you would probably really hate him and despise him. But I always kind of felt that there was probably a lot more reasoning behind why he acts in the way he does, and I really did love a lot of the attention to detail that goes into Bet in this volume. This plays a lot into, of course, with the doors, Key, the war between Ishtar and Freya, and of course the dark entities that are mysteriously dug very deep entrenched into the dungeon itself. There is a lot of multi-layered things going on in this volume that are all intertwined, of course, with the main story, and then of course its side story itself, and of course the other familiar group. It's a really awesome volume. As much as Bet can definitely be a bit of a grind, he is still a character that I find fascinating to say the least. But to be honest, I really loved the new Amazon girl that was introduced in this volume, and I really hope to see a little bit more of her. She's very much of a persistent character. She's very determined to try and get what she wants out of Bet, which of course is a child and a fun night in Funky Town, as so to say. I really do love her. I think she was a really fun and spunky character. I think she really plays quite nicely off of Bet. Though Bet is very much of an abusive character, I don't really like the way he treated her, but I can sympathize with some of his feelings when it came to why he doesn't like weak people, why he wants those around him to either be in a safer position or, train harder or be stronger because he doesn't want to lose more people close to him. But he is still a character that I kind of wish he'd tone his attitude down a little bit. He's definitely someone that I just kind of sit there and go, yeah, you need a chill pill, mate. You really need to relax a little bit. As much as this volume's very mixed, because in a sense, it tries to sort of show this romance that and sort of feelings that Bet has towards Eyes, but then at the same time, it kind of shows it in this perspective of he really looks up to her and admires the fact that she's so strong and determined and stands on her own 2 feet. But at the same time, it kind of pushes a little bit of a romance. It's very mixed signals what this volume tries to go across, whether it be Bet feels something or not. I always feel that the overarching story is always going to be obviously Belle and Eyes slowly coming together in that romance, even though in the main story it's very much turned into a giant harem. I still feel that Bet definitely has a lot of underlying feelings for Eyes, but he kind of is very confused. I don't know. It's either I'm confused or Bet's confused. Probably both at this point. But I really did enjoy the volume, and to be honest, there isn't super heaps going on in these volumes. It very much focuses on a major story point, and it builds on those multiple layers and builds on the backstory and the motives and the drives of all the moving components, all the chess pieces that are sort of trying to outdo each other, and especially with these sort of, as I like to call it, the dark entities in the shadows and their part that they played with Ishtar and Freya. And the fact is that they want war, they want chaos, they want all these different familiar groups to turn on each other. So Ishtar was kind of playing into their hands anyway, and they were going to turn on her regardless. So her inevitable demise was probably not in their favor, but it probably worked out for the best anyway. And Freya now is in a better position than ever before because she's definitely gained some assets after that big scuffle, so to say. I really like Freya. I think Freya is by far one of my favorite characters, and of course with the scuffle that happened between them, and now Ishtar in that situation where she's completely wiped off the map. But of course there's a lot of rippling effects from her actions. Even though yes, she's off the playing field and she's now been sent back to the heavens, what she's done has definitely put a lot of things into motion with allowing the dark entities to sort of scuffle around. They've definitely got a lot of financial support. That's what I mean. She's really put a lot of bad things into motion. She's helped those that want chaos, and I definitely think she deserves what she got. But as I was mentioning before with the rippling effect, now that her familiars have all splintered and gone in all their different directions, they've all got to find their own place now within different familiars, and some of them have joined Freya. particularly, of course, those that she deems appropriate. There's one that I'm really hyper focusing on, of course, in that side story where she ended up acquiring a very powerful individual. Most of them are just kind of splintered all over the place. But I really love what played in the previous volumes, how everything has led to volume 8, and now with Bet and the focus on that, and then them kind of trying to come up to the surface and trying to wreak more havoc. I'm really fascinated to see where that goes and what other major stakes are going to be put on the line. I would say it was very much the calm before the storm. We've had the major events that happened in Volume 7. You've kind of had that really war state, them sort of trying to fight back with those entities, Bet definitely showing his powerhouse, his abilities, and then, of course, the actual familiar members understanding how he feels in that cutesy moment that definitely got him a bit embarrassed. Even though there was a lot going on in this volume in the sense of the back and forth between the Loki familiar and then, of course, the dark entities. As I said before, not heaps in the sense of different moving components, but the one major component definitely had a lot moving forward in the sense of Bet trying to push forward into the story. But I think now, with this being the calm before the storm, we're now going to see a lot of major moving pieces suddenly accelerate. And as I said before, I've not read the previous volume. I'm just going based on each volume by volume. So it's a fun experience to go in blind and just experience it from a fresh perspective. I really enjoyed this volume. There is definitely a lot of things I'm really interested to see how it plays out. Just overall, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What were your favorite parts of this volume? What did you think of Bet's sort of uncovering of his mindset? Just any and all thoughts are definitely welcome in the comment section down below. But if you liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more anime content, and I will see you, beautiful nerds, in the next video.